Okay, so it means we say, because we say 870 plus 430, we get something like, did you add? Can you still hear me on your side?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me do the calculation.
Okay, no problem. So because this is at the end, so you just say 870 plus 430, because this is at the end and they did tell us that they sold. So meaning if they sold it here for 430 and we remained with 870 at the end, it means at the beginning it was more. At the beginning it was 870 plus 430.
It's 1,003,000.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna just waiting, it's a bit slow. This Wi-Fi don't. Okay, you said it's 1 million?
3,000.
3,000, 1.3 million maybe?
Yes, 1.3 million. No,
1.3.
it's 1,320 a bit and then 30.
Yes, 1.3 million, like that. Like this, ne?
Yes.
Yes. So this is what we need to do. And then I hope you understand why did we add. It's because we are still at the beginning.
Yes.
Yes, we're still at the beginning. No problem. Let's do the same for the other assets, which is land and building. Let's go back and check. Because I think we only have 2 fixed assets here. We've got land and buildings. The cost is 950. Did we buy anything new? And if yes, did we record that? There's an information here.
And then building are not depreciating the yes, we did buy.
We bought, but
yes, this transaction has not been recorded.
So there's no problem with this one. Can you see now? So this one we're gonna write it as it is. If it was recorded, we're supposed to take it out.
We put on the PPE one only it's recorded.
Yeah, like at the beginning, remember I was still at the beginning.
Okay.
So meaning this 950, remember the fact that we need to, because this 950, can you see, is shown when? According to the information, is shown under which date?
And that
End of. Yes. So I need to check first. It means it was 950 at the beginning, is even showing 950 at the beginning. Because if they said they recorded already during the year, I was supposed to minus that one that has been recorded to know how much was it at the beginning.
Okay.
So meaning this 950 was at the beginning because the one that they bought as new is not recorded yet. Only if they said recorded, I was supposed to minus it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So that's why I'm gonna say go there and write 950 as it is. So I'm gonna have 950. I hope it makes sense because they like tricking you with this kind of information. And then I'm just gonna put dash because we don't have any, or zero. Let me just put 0. We don't have any because I just gave you the format, so we don't have vehicles equipment at the moment. Can you see now?
Yes.
Let me give you an opportunity. If you want clarity on this, just tell me so that I can explain. So I want you to understand it better.
Can you please? Okay, I understand why you put 1.3 million because the photo was not recorded.
Yeah.
And
So those are the things. So you must always.
and it was at the beginning of the because it was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's true. Because remember, if you can check here, so if you can check here, we are at the beginning. So can you see this is at the beginning of the year? We're still at the beginning. So we want everything at the beginning. We don't want anything at the during the year. We don't want anything at the end. We're still coming to that. We take it step by step. Beginning, middle, and end. The question is, where are we at the moment? We are still at the beginning. So everything that includes during the period or at the end, we don't want them. We take them out if they are included.
Yeah, I see.
Yes. And now we just have to add to find the total. Because sometimes they don't want the total. We just have to add to find the total. So we must just say 950 plus 1.3 million. I got 2250.
Yes.
So you must always show like sometimes if they want they do mark the total sometimes. So if they want you to, if they give you the totals, you must put the totals. So if you have to draw it, you must always have the total if they don't say anything. I hope you can see.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we need to, remember we're still at the beginning here. Now we know that the land and building is not depreciable. Ne? I can just put 0 or dash. Which one do you prefer? Can I put dash or 0?
Dash.
Dash. Okay, let me put dash. So I'm gonna put dash because I know that these are not depreciable. They told me that they are not depreciable, so I don't expect any accumulated depreciation. And I'm also gonna say dash for this one because I don't have anything. You see, I don't have anything for the land and build for the equipment. No?
Yes.
But we have to do something for depreciation. Remember here, since you bought it, you should have lost value. So let's go and check accumulated for at the beginning for vehicles. Let's go and check if we have. Yes, they did give us. Can you see they gave us the accumulated for the vehicles,
Yes.
and they gave us at the beginning of what of the year. So this one is nice. Can you see? Remember, we're still here. We're still here at the beginning. So we
Yes.
do have the amount. How much is it? 83,600.
3,600.
So this one is easy for us. We just have to put it in brackets, ne?
Yes.
To show that it's 83,600. Okay, and then the total will also be 86,300, just like that. Can you see now? So not difficult. So ask me a question if you're lost. That's how you must do it. So
Where is the 83,600?
oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake. I think the other it must be 83, ne?
Yes.
83,600. Sorry, I just transposed it. 600. Okay, thank you for that. Let me just align it. Okay, I hope it makes sense now.
I still can see it on my side.
Come again. You can't see?
No, I can't see.
You can see.
No, I can't see.
You can't see.
No.
So you don't. You do. Okay, let me just do this. Can you see now?
Yes, I can see the the table, but I can't see the 80. Okay, how it's showing. Why is it on the under bracket?
Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see. Why is it under bracket?
Because it is accumulated. Remember, accumulated means the value that the asset lost.
Okay.
Like if you bought a car, you bought it for 1.3 million, it lost a value. That is the lost value. So we put it in brackets always. Ne?
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay.
Yes.
So every time when there's accumulated depreciation, we should put it under bracket.
Yes, in this note, you put it under brackets. Even as long as you see the word depreciation, even for depreciation, because it's the lost value, we will put what? The brackets. Okay. Some students put minus, but I prefer brackets here. But even if you put minus, it's still the same thing because the effect will be minus.
Okay.
Okay, so far.
Yes.
Now, let me just say, I think this I must reduce the font now. So as you can see now, we have the cost and we have what accumulated. In other words, the cost of the land and building is 950 here, but remember it did not lose value because they say it's not depreciable. Remember,
Yes.
meaning the value at the beginning is going to be 950 minus nothing here, which is how much?
950.
950. Can you see? That's how we find the carrying value at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Can you see now?
Yes.
I just want to make it. I think you can see what's going on there.
Yes.
So we've got nothing for the vehicles. Here, I'm just gonna put 0 here, and not 0. Put dash also so that I cannot mix. So, dash here. Okay. So for vehicles, we're gonna say 1.3 minus 83,600.
Yes.
I get 400. That's what I got. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reduce the number because the numbers are too big. I'm gonna make it smaller so that it can fit. Okay. Okay, so far.
Yes. Okay.
So finding the total is the same way. What we do, we just have to take whatever is here, we add them together horizontally. Can you see now? Like we did here. We added everything like this, né? We add everything like this. So now we just say 950 plus 216 there. 1216
Oh,
plus 950.
are we not gonna do the 2.250 minus 83?
Come again, you said?
Why are we not doing 2.250 minus 83?
You can do it, you get the same amount. Do it. You can
Okay.
either do that or you can add, it doesn't matter.
All right.
Yes. Okay, so far.
Yes.
So this is our first step. We were at the beginning, as you can see here. So ask me a question if you are struggling here before we go to the next.
I think I'm okay with that part.
Now, the next step, from the beginning, obviously, where do we do? Where do we go? We go during the year. Okay?
Okay.
So this is what happened during the year. So let me write it down for the sake of understanding. The next thing that we do, we are going to look at the movements. We call them movements. Movements during the year. Okay, so we just want to check what happened during the year. Because we were at the beginning, obviously now we must be during the year, and then during the year, what happened? Does that make sense?
Yes.
We check the first thing, we check whether we bought new things or not. That's how we say what?
Addition.
Additions? Yeah, additions I can just write, or you can call them new acquisitions. If we have, but if we don't have, it's okay. We're just checking them, okay? We check
Okay.
new acquisitions first. So now let's check if we have bought. I think already we know which one. Did we buy anything before you go and check? Do you think we bought any new land and building?
Excuse me.
During the period, did we buy any new? If you remember very well, did we buy anything new for land and building?
Yeah, a vehicle.
No, we're talking about the land and building. Remember, we look at them one by one.
Oh, the London building.
Let's go and check.
Mm.
Let's go and check. Let's go and check. Let's go and check if we bought any new land and building. Just check if we bought any new land and building. Do you see anything new for land and building?
Yes.
How much?
For 50.
Yes, you're correct. So I'm going to go there and write 50. Can you see now? That's how we check. So we bought 450. Can you see the reason why we need to check at the beginning and minus everything is because if we did not minus, let's say it was included there and we don't minus, we're going to record it again. Can you see now?
Yes.
So the reason why we have to check from the beginning is to check so that by the time when we record it, it's recorded separately, not as a total at the beginning. Because at the beginning, we did not have it. You understand how we record this?
Yes.
So we know for equipment, we've got nothing. Do you think we bought any new vehicle during the period?
I think so. Can we check?
Can we go and check? Let's check if we bought any new vehicles. Yes, I think we bought. Remember, yeah?
Yeah. 1st of September. Yeah.
We bought it for how much? For 430.
80.
So we must go and put it the new vehicle for 430. Okay, 430. You see now? And that's how we put it. And now we can find the total, which is going to be, I think, is 880, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. 880.
Thank you. So, can you see in additions or new acquisitions? Very easy. You just have to go and check the information if you bought a new one or not. Are you good?
Yes.
No problem. Now, the next thing that we check, we need to check disposals at carrying value. Here it means, remember, we know if you sold any asset, it's then that you're going to have something here. That's why we had asset disposal. We have to check. according to your understanding, did we sell any land and building during the period?
Shows
If you
only
remember very
vehicle.
well. We only sold what?
Vehicle.
So we didn't sell any land and building. We don't have any equipment, we know. But we need to be careful whatever we put here. Whatever we put here, we must put what you call what? The carrying what? Value.
The carrying value.
Yes. And then you need to understand what is the carrying value. So the carrying value, you can write it down, is the difference between the cost and accumulated depreciation. I repeat. So the carrying value is the difference between the cost and accumulated depreciation. Did you write it down?
Yes.
Now, remember, we have done these calculations before, but because now we don't have them, let's just go back. So we must check. We must only focus on the asset that we sold. So we need to go. We must follow the formula that I just gave you. The formula says we are looking for the carrying value. The carrying value is cost minus accumulated depreciation. So we need to go and find that cost of the asset that we sold. How much is the cost of the asset that we sold?
It's 870.
That is the balance for all the assets, all the vehicles. I'm talking about the one that we sold.
The one for the one 130.
Only the one that we sold. How much?
130.
Where is 130? I can't see 130. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, the 430.
But the 430 for me, if I check, was not sold. Read that statement for 430. They will tell you. Read the statement for 430. Read the statement for 430 quickly.
Excuse me?
Read that transaction on, or you're talking about the 430. I want you to go and read and tell me if you sold there or not.
New record purchase on credit. Oh, it was for okay. It's not that one.
Did you sell it? It's not that one, because that one is the one that you bought. I'm talking about the one that you sold, the cost of the one that you sold.
$440.
440. Yes, that's true. Because if you can read here, they said a vehicle with the original purchase price. I told you that the purchase price is the same as the cost. Okay?
Yes.
It's the one that we sold. So we're looking for this cost. Remember, we're following that formula. So already we've got the cost that we're looking for. Okay? So the cost is going to be 440. And we said we take the cost and we minus accumulated depreciation. So can you see the cost, the accumulated for this asset is how much? Sorry.
83,600.
But this was at the beginning of the year.
March, the beginning of the year.
But it was sold when?
On credit.
First of
January.
So it was sold somewhere here. If I can go up, it was sold somewhere here. On the 1st of, and I'm just gonna write it down. The 1st of January 2019. So it was sold somewhere here. And we do this calculation before, né? But when we sold somewhere here, remember this accumulated is only here at the beginning. Okay?
Yes.
83,600 is at the beginning. But remember, if we sold at the beginning, we were supposed to use 83,600. But because we sold it here on the first, we still have to know the other depreciation here for how many months. I think we did this calculation before. How many months are here in between?
12 months. From the 1st
12
of
months
March.
to the 1st of January.
Oh, okay.
Did you find the same answer as I found? I found 10 months.
I found 11.
You can't count 1st of Jan.
Oh, okay.
You must count until what? December, because 1st of Jan is the beginning. You can't count it. So you must count up to the end of December.
Right.
Okay? So what we need to do, we need to calculate depreciation for 10 months from here to there so that we can add it to what we have here. Can you see now? So we need to depreciate again because they did depreciate for us up to the beginning. Now we must depreciate. But which method are we using? Diminishing or cost?
Diminishing.
So meaning we need to follow the diminishing. If we follow the diminishing, obviously we must take the cost of that asset, which is how much? 440. Remember, focusing on the asset that we are selling. We're going to say 440 minus accumulated of how much?
83,600.
Yes, and then we multiply by how many percent?
10.
Is it 10%? Yes.
Yes.
Times 10%, which is 10 over 100, ne? And then how many months?
10 months.
10 over 12. So this must be done. And how much do we get? I don't know if you still have the answer from the other day.
Yes, I do. It's 3,564.
3,564.
No, let me just give you the general amount. It's 29.
I'm talking about the one that we just calculated now. Is it the same?
Yes, it's 29,700.
00, ne?
Yes.
29,700. So this is the depreciation that we have for how many months? For those 10 months. Okay?
Yes.
Meaning, I'm just going to put it up there and say plus 297, so this is the one that we have for those 10 months. So now, after having that, it means this is the total accumulated for that asset until here. Okay? Now we are able to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, what did I say was the formula for, let me go back quickly so that I can show you. What did I say was the formula for carrying value here? I did give you the formula.
The difference between costs accumulated. The difference between costs and
So we said
accumulated depreciation.
cost less accumulated depreciation. Okay?
Yes.
That is what we said. Okay? So now we know the cost of this asset is how much? Is 440. Okay?
Yes.
And then the accumulated, I must minus accumulated, I've got 83,600. I'm going to open minus 86,600. I must also minus 29,700. Or if you want, you can just add them together from that calculation. So we say 440 minus 83,600 minus 29,700. So that is how you calculate the carrying value. This is how you calculate the carrying value. Can you see here? So that is the amount that you're going to put here. So you need to be careful with the disposal here. They want the carrying value. You must look at the asset cost of the asset that you sold. That is the cost of the asset that we sold. You must minus accumulated. But we were only given what? 83,600. We have to minus it, but we still have to minus the other one that is missing. The other one I'm referring to this one. So unfortunately, because the asset was sold during the period, we still have to go and calculate this one. Can you see now? Because it was sold here. So you must minus everything from the beginning to the end. I don't know if it makes sense or not.
Yes.
If the asset was sold on the 1st of March 2018, we were supposed to only minus 83,600 there. Can you see now? There was no need for us to have this calculation. But the minute we sell an asset during the period, we must first calculate the period from the beginning to the date of sale. But when we checked our period, there were 10 months. Can you see now? So we had to calculate it for 10 months so that we can also go and minus it. Hopefully it makes sense.
Yes.
So we must come and record this here. We must put it in brackets because we sold. Did you hear what I said? Because you sold, you must make sure that you took it out of the business. So if you sell something, it means it is deducted from the business. So that's why I put brackets here. I don't know if it makes sense or not. This is what I'm referring to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, that's how you must check that calculation. And obviously the total will be the same. 326,700. Any questions so far?
I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is how we calculate it. Let me just remove this calculation down here. So that is how to deal with the disposals. So now we go and deal with what? What is next is what? Depreciation. Okay, this is the depreciation for the year. Let me write for the year. For the year. I think by the fact that you see the word for the year, meaning we need to show the depreciation, any depreciation that took place during the year. Are we together?
Yes.
So we know that our land and building is not depreciable, and we also know that we don't have what the equipment. So we need to be careful. Remember, this note is not only for the asset that you sold; it's for all the assets that you have. Can you see now? So what I prefer to do is to draw like this. That's how I do it. I prefer to draw a box like this. That's how I make sure that I understand it better. Make a box like this. So on this box, I do this. I check if I have sold any assets. I'm going to write sold assets, the one that I sold. I'm also going to check if I bought a new asset. I'm going to write new here. It's just for me so that I can abstract it. You don't have to do this, but this works for me. And I'm also going to check the old assets. I'm just going to write old assets. And I'm gonna write remaining next to it. Remaining. Okay. So see, for all depletion I do this. I know that I'm dealing with the depreciation. Which asset do you think that I'm gonna depreciate here?
The old and new.
But which asset am I
Vehicle.
gonna depreciate out of the three?
Vehicle.
Hmm? Vehicle.
Vehicle.
Yes. Now we just use this box as a guideline, as a checklist. As a checklist. Okay.
Okay.
Now, first we must ask ourselves, we are focusing on the vehicle. Before we've been reading information about this question. If you remember very well, did we sell any vehicle during the period?
Yes.
We did sell, né? But
Yeah.
remember, we only need depreciation for the year. So when I say depreciation for the year, according to your understanding, which depreciation? Which one? I'm talking about the one that I sold. Which one do you think that I'm talking about? Or which figure?
The accumulated depreciation, the one that there is it's 33,600.
33. I don't see 33 here.
83.
Remember, we're speaking about depreciation. What did I say about depreciation? The only depreciation that took place during the year. Did 83,600 take place during the year?
No, it took place at the beginning of the year. During the
Not
year,
even
there
at the beginning of the year. It took place
29,
a long time ago. That's why, yeah. So which one took place during the period?
29, 700.
You are correct. Only this one. So you need to be careful because the minute you take this one, you are wrong. You only take this one for depreciation. I repeat, you only take anything that took place during the period from here to there. So this one did not take place during the period. It was the balance at the beginning. Remember, if you have got a balance at the beginning of the period, it means this comes from the previous periods. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We only take anything that was calculated from here to there between the period. Please note that. So, meaning I'm only going to take 29,700. I hope you got it.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna use 29,000. I'm gonna take only 29,000. Remember, I'm still calculating it. 29,700. Can you see now? Not 83. I don't even include it here because I'm dealing with depreciation. I'm not dealing with accumulated depreciation. Hopefully, you won't forget.
Yes.
Yes, that's the first thing. So we finished with the sold. Remember, we're busy with the vehicle. We ask ourselves the question: do we have a new vehicle that we bought during the period?
Yes.
Okay, if we bought, let's go and check how much was that asset that we bought during the period. How much do you think is the cost price of the asset that we bought during the period?
430.
430. So we need to depreciate this 430, but we need to be careful. We must depreciate from the date we bought it. Please note the date for me.
1st of September.
So bear that in mind. So I'm going to go there and we're going to show that calculation. Can you see? So meaning for new here, we need to have a calculation because we don't have anything on hand now. Okay. So for the new, we need to have a calculation. We are depreciating 430 as we said. So I'm going to put it here as a calculation here. So I'm going to say 430. How will I depreciate multiply how many percent? Which method are we using?
Diminishing.
So is there anything that we can minus first on the 430?
No.
No, we can't because remember it's still new. If it is still new, there's nothing to minus. Remember. You still remember that?
Yes.
How many months?
10 months.
Count first. From the when did you buy it?
The 1st of September.
Count please to the end of the period.
8 months.
8 months. How did you find that?
From September till Feb.
Okay, let's say September, October, November, December, January, February. I don't find 8 months.
You find 7.
No, count again. Start again. Let's count September until Feb. Just do it quickly. You'll see.
Wow.
Nope. Let's count here. Check on the screen here. We said first of what?
September.
It's somewhere here. First of September. Ne? Let's count.
Yeah.
September is the first. You count September because it's September. It's the first of September. You must count September.
Okay.
September,
October.
October,
November.
November, December, January, February. How many months?
6.
6 months.
6.
6 months, yes. So you're gonna have 6 months, and then if you do it by 6 months, I get 21,500. So that is how we calculate the depreciation for the year. Not only for the year. So anytime, as long as you've got the new one, you must do that. Okay.
Okay.
Just for the sake of understanding, this one we said the the asset that we bought, I think was how much? Was 440. That we sold was 430. I'm not sure. I think no, not 430. I forgot.
Which one?
I'm talking about the one that we sold. The cost of the asset that we sold. I think it was 440. Yeah.
440.
It was 440. Ne?
Yes.
No, just showing so that just the calculation. So that this one we set 440, 123, and we minus 83,600, and then we multiplied it by 10%. I'm still writing it up here, and we times it by 10 months, if I'm not mistaken. 10 over 12. And I think we got 29,700. So that's how I'm just saying, just for the calculation for the other one. Can you see now?
Yes.
Now, okay. Any questions so far about the sold and the new? No problem. Okay. Now we are left with the remaining one. So remember we sold and then we have got a new one. But remember before we did the whole selling and buying, we started with a certain balance of the certain balance of that particular asset. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So when we started at the beginning, I'm just gonna go back. So the vehicle was 870, eh?
Yes.
And so we said at the beginning it was not 170. Remember, we said it was 1.3 million.
Yes.
So out of 1.3 million, do you still have something left for that on that amount? So remember, from 1.3 million, we sold the one for the 430 from 430, and we're left with how much? 870. Did you touch this 870?
Not yet.
Not yet. So we did not touch this 870. So it means we still having that 870 now. So we must also depreciate that. So we're talking about the one that we started with. Are we still heavy? Remember, if we go back, just gonna show you something. So I think on our note we did record it. We said at the beginning it was 1.3 million. Okay.
Yes.
And we sold the other one for, I think it was for 430, one for 440. We were left with what? 870. So that 870 was not touched at the end. So we still have to depreciate that 870 because it's the remaining old one. Okay.
Yes.
So we must do the same. We must also do that and say, okay. So the balance was 870, but remember, using diminishing balance method, we must first minus its accumulated. So what is the accumulated according to the balances?
Are we gonna do the 1.3 million minus?
No, 1.3 million, remember, is not. No, 1.3 million
Yes.
is not the one. That one is the, remember, we had 1.3 million at the beginning. We sold 440, and that's how I left with 870. Remember, according to our calculation. So this is the one that is left, 870. I don't know if I make sense or not.
Yes.
So we just want to check the one that we had at the beginning. Do we still have it? We know at the beginning it was 1.3 million. We sold the one for 440. We are left with 870. So that 870 is still there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So we need to depreciate that 870 because it is still there. It was not sold.
Oh,
Does that make
okay.
sense? So you must use the,
Yeah.
so its accumulated is how much? Is 83,000?
600.
So don't worry, it's not the same as this one. Don't be confused and say which one. I think it's not the same as this one. No, it's something different.
Okay.
Okay, so we just have to take this 83,600 and we go and calculate this. So let's go and check. Minus 86. Minus 83,600. And then we multiply it by 10%. Times 10%. But it's for the whole year, this one, because remember it was from the beginning to the end. Okay. So this is how I want the calculator. Can you see now? 870 minus 86, 83,600. $78,640. That's what I got. Please ask me a question if you're lost. So I don't know if this box will help or not, but I prefer using a box so that I can know what am I dealing with. Can you see now? So I separate calculation.
Are we using 12 over 12 because it's for the beginning of the year?
Yeah, because this asset I had it at the beginning and I'm still having it at the end. So I had it for the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah, usually for the last one, the old remaining one, it will always be 12 months because you had it from the beginning to the end. You didn't touch it
All right.
because it was 1.3, and then out of 1.3 you sold 440.
Yes.
You were left with 870. So in other words, 870 you had it from the beginning until the end of the period. You did not do anything to it. Can you see now? So if I did not sell here, this one, the cost, remember this cost is part of this one. It was part of the total for this one, okay? So if I did not have this one, I was supposed to have 1.3 million here, remember?
Yes.
But if you can add the two, they will give you 1.3 million. But this one has been sold. That's why I must show it separately. But this one, after selling that one, I was left with this one.
Yes, I understand.
Yes. So that is how I prefer. And after doing that, I just have to add everything in the box. So that will be the amount that I'm looking for.
All right.
Yes. So if I add all of them, I get 129,840. That is the total for my total depreciation is 129,840. That is what I've been looking for all along. And I'll call this total depreciation is the total depreciation of that particular of the asset that I'm dealing with, of which I'm dealing with what? Dealing with the vehicle. So it's the one that I'm looking for. I'm gonna put it here. Can you see where I said depreciation for the year? I'm gonna come here. Can you see the reason why they give you marks for calculations? Because you calculate a lot. Can you see now? So can you, if you don't show the calculations, how will you get this mark? So you must always show calculations. Doesn't matter how you show them, as long as you show them.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's why sometimes this has got many marks.
And it's easy to get confused and
yes,
up.
That's why you must have a strategy. That's why even for this one, because I know it's confusing, I normally use the box like this because it tells me what I need to do. I must focus on the sold, I must focus on the new separately, I must focus on the old. So the more I practice, I'll get used to it.
Yes.
With this box, you'll never go wrong. So maybe after this session, maybe when you must take another exercise, try to calculate depreciation for the year. Just use the box and then if you struggle, you can call me, and then if you've got a time, no problem, I'll explain to you, and then this is how you did that, and you send it to me via WhatsApp, and then I check it for you, and then we can talk even via WhatsApp. It's okay.
For sure, I will try because I need more marks.
You need more marks, yes. So that is how to find depreciation, and then again you must total here. Remember the total there is going to be 129,840. Okay. 129,840. 129,840. Yes. Can you see now? And again, can you see I put it in brackets because that is the lost value. Yes. So we were just during the period. Remember, we started from the beginning up there. We started there, up there.
Yeah. And
we went during the year.
During the year, and then there's the end.
Now we must go to perfect. So end of the year is not a problem. It only depends on what you have there. So we don't have too many complicated calculations. This one is very straightforward, but you need to be careful. Okay?
Yes.
Can we find the figures at the end now?
Please wait. I'm trying to do some calculation.
Can we do it? Can you continue?
Yes.
Now we first focus on the costs. I repeat, we focus only on the costs. Okay?
Yes.
Now, remember, we asked ourselves at the beginning, the cost was how much? 950. Can you see now?
Yes.
Now, can you see when they say additions? Sometimes they say, if you can check in your book, they normally say addition at cost. I just want you to write cost next to it. So if this one is also at the cost, let me write it down here. Because I want you to. So I'm just gonna write acquisition. So I'm just gonna write acquisition or additions at cost. At costs. Can you see? So these additions must always be at a cost, because when you buy an asset, you buy the cost. Okay. So we only look at the beginning. The cost was how much? 950. We've got a new cost of how much?
450.
So at the end, how much is the cost?
Can we do 950 plus 450 to get the end
That's
one.
how we find the answer, yes.
It's 1.4. Yes.
That's how we find it. So I want you to look at them one by one. We first focus on the costs before we can go any further. Okay.
Yes.
Now, remember we were only on the buildings now. So let's focus on the vehicles now. We do the same thing. Let's check. What do you think I must do? The same thing that we did?
Yeah. Not doing for the vehicle. Can we do the carrying value?
No, we don't take the carrying value. We do the same thing that we did. We just did. We are focusing on the cost. Remember the land and building, we focus on the cost. These are the steps. We first deal with the costs one by one. So we deal with the cost for land. Now we're focusing on the vehicle. Let's deal with the cost for vehicle. The same way we dealt with the first cost for the land and building.
Then we do 1.3 million
Yes.
plus 430.
Yes. But you said plus 430, I agree with you, ne?
Yes.
But remember for the vehicle, we sold a vehicle there. What is the cost of that vehicle that we sold? This one.
440.
You must also minus 440. So I think for you not to forget, ne? I think you need to just put that cost here in future. Maybe let me write it here. So the cost here, the one that we used before, is 430. Just for so that you know we can. Otherwise, you're gonna forget it. Ne? So what you need to do is say 1.3 plus 430. Ne?
Yeah.
Is it 430?
Yeah,
But the
430.
cost was not. But this cost is not. I think I made a mistake. The cost here is must be 440. Remember, you must minus 440. So when you sold, you must not forget to minus the cost of the asset that you sold. That's the only challenge when you sell. Can you see if you didn't sell any asset, it's very straightforward, like underlying and building, everything was straightforward, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't know how you make yourself to remember this. So you still do this, the cost here plus the cost here minus the cost of the one that you sold. Please just write it somewhere there so that you can not forget. As long as you sold, you need to minus the cost of that asset that you sold.
You minus the cost of sales also.
The cost of what?
Cost of sale.
I can't use no the cost of the asset that you sold.
Yes, we minus the cost of salt.
Yes. So don't forget because that one, if you're not careful, you can forget it because you're not seeing it here. Can you see now? So you must always remember that.
Yeah.
How much did you get? For me, I got 1,290,000. That's what I got. Double check.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, can you see if you give someone who was not here with us, ne, and that person uses the same formula, that person will say, for example, will say 1.3 plus 430. He won't get this amount. Can you see now? because you must remember to minus the cost of the asset that you sold. I hope it makes sense.
Yes.
And the total, we can find the total now. That's what I found on my calculator, so you can find it from your side. Okay.
Yes.
No. Yes. So you need to do this. Can you see now? That's the something that you do. So there's a problem when you are dealing with the asset that you are selling. Okay. Remember, we were just focusing on the cost. Can you see we finished everything with the cost? Can you see now? Now we focus on accumulated. The same way we dealt with the cost, but now we focus on what? On accumulated. Same. Okay, we know that land and building doesn't depreciate, so I'm gonna put dash dash dash. So we only have to focus on what? On the vehicle.
Yes.
Are we together? Same procedure. So I want to check if you can be able to do that. So now we focus on accumulated, the same procedure that we followed for the cost. Let's start here. Where do you think I can start with the vehicle?
I think we should start by the 83.
Yes, this one.
Yes.
And then
Plus the
you
disposal carrying
you look
value.
at the depreciations, eh? Plus
Yes. The the
mm,
300. The disposal carrying value.
this is not depreciation. Can you see now? You can't. This is not depreciation. We are looking for like you said 83
Only
600.
accumulate depreciation.
Yes, come on,
Uh,
83 600
yes, and then yes, depreciation for the year.
plus 129.
Yes, and then
Okay,
that's all.
no, that's not all. Remember, you did sell vehicle. You must minus accumulated for the one that you sold. Like what we did here with the cost. What did you do? We said the cost
Oh,
plus the cost minus accumulated. So you must
minus
know the accumulated for the asset that you sold. How much was it all in all? Remember here, if I can go back here,
129.
this one.
Oh,
How much was it? This one plus that one. Remember, the total accumulated is the one that you're gonna minus from that one.
so it's double one, double three, double zero.
Yes, that is the one that you need to go and minus. So take this 83 600. Let me write it down. It's gonna be 83 600 plus the one for the year 29 700.
Yes,
It's not 29, it's 129. 129
840.
840. Yes. Minus.
Double one, double three, double zero.
Yes. Of which that one, remember, it was 83 600 plus 29. Yeah. You said double one?
Double three, double zero.
Okay. And then how much we get? The 100. Okay.
It's 100 100
Okay. 0040. Let me see. So this is the one that I need here.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question. Isn't this amount of 83,600 include in this 113300?
No, there are two different amounts. We are talking about this 1100.
No, you see this accumulated depreciation. The
Mm-hmm.
first one,
Yes.
is it plus 29,700?
Oh,
Can
yeah, you are
I?
saying is this
Yes,
amount of this one, eh?
yes, it's
In part of this
it.
one?
No, you see this
No, no,
amount
your
of
question. Come again?
this amount of 83,600.
Yes.
We do that amount plus 29,700 to get 11,8300.
Yes.
And then we get the same amount of 83,600 plus 129,840 minus 11,3300. Why are we using again this amount of 83,600? Because it already includes in this amount of 11,3300.
Okay. This is a very good question. Remember, this is just a process. This is when we started with this asset that we're selling. The balance was how much? 83,600.
Yes.
Can you see now? And we also depreciated, and then we got 29,700. Remember, which is part of what? Of this amount. Remember. Now, this shows that we are minusing them. They are not there anymore. Remember, we sold the asset. If we sell the asset, are we still going to have this 83,600? So it is part of this. We minus it here. So in other words, we are minusing everything on the asset that we sold. So the asset that we sold, if I can go back quickly, remember, let me go there. So the asset that I sold, it has 83,600 and 29,300. Ne? This must be taken out of our books. That's why if I can go back, it's just that it is easy if you sit in the general ledger account. This is what we did on the general ledger account. So this 83,600 is taken out. I should have said 83,600 plus 129,840 minus 83,600 minus 29,700. Maybe it will make sense. So it means we take off everything that of that asset. We don't have it anymore. We take it out of the books.
Okay.
Because if I cannot minus it, it means I'm still going to have these figures in my books. So here, if you can check our general ledger that we did last week, ne? We did take out this from the accumulated depreciation. We minus everything. So we minus 83,600. We also minus 29,700. It's just that here we put them as a total. I don't know if it makes sense or not.
Yes.
Yes, we are taking it out. We are minusing it.
Okay.
I know it's very complicated. No, it needs time. I know. I don't blame you if you're a bit, off. But yeah. So that's. I don't know if you need more clarity.
it's okay. I understand now.
Okay. Any questions?
In the test, do they ask to do the PPE?
They do like they do ask, but you never know. Sometimes they prefer accounts. They can play around this, but yeah, they do, especially for exams. Ne? They like this in the exam, but you never know. I don't know if you have seen the paper that they wrote. Did you see any paper that they wrote previously?
No.
Yes, yeah. So, but I'll check. Maybe I can check the paper there. What did they said now, so that you know. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna check if I can be able to find it. But
Okay.
obviously speaking, they play around what this. They play around general ledger. They play around general. They play around PPE. But for the test, they play around general ledger.
Okay.
Yeah. But you'll never know. The years are different. Sometimes they change. People cannot. Sometimes they change.
This one, the PPE is very confusing.
Of which is the same thing. It's just that it's not this. It's the same thing that we did. It's just that it's different
Yeah.
format. Yeah. Any question?
No, I'm good so far.
So the last thing for this note is to find the carrying value at the end. The carrying values are up there. So how do you think? How much is the carrying value for land and building at the end?
1.4 million.
1.4 million. What about the vehicle?
Mm, the vehicle. Are we also adding the accumulate depreciation to get the carrying
Did
value?
you add accumulated? Okay. Did you add accumulated depreciation to find 1.4 million?
No.
What did you do?
No, we're doing the cost minus the accumulate.
Yes.
Since there is already the first for the end for the beginning of the year, there is the carrying value. Can we add the disposal carrying value?
Come again?
Since there's this carrying value at the beginning of the year, there's also this
No,
disposal
remember,
carrying.
you don't look up there. You only look at the bottom.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's look at how you got 1.4. The same way you just said 1.4. You said 1.4 minus what? Minus whatever you have here. You don't have anything. That's why you got 1.4. So here the cost is what? It's 1,290 minus accumulated of how much? Of this. I got that. You understand what I mean? It's the same thing I
Yeah.
did on top there for me to find those figures. I just said 1.3 million minus this one, 250 minus this one, 950 minus this one. The same applies here. You don't have to look at anything here. You are at the end. Ignore any other thing. You only look at the end. Because you found the cost, you find accumulated. The
Okay.
carrying values, the difference between the two, that's all. The difference between the two, that's all.
Then there's nothing in the vehicle column.
There's nothing.
No,
Where?
in the vehicle.
Why do you say there's nothing?
In the costs and accumulated depreciation, did you put any amount? There's nothing. I can't see anything on my side.
From your side, you can't see my figures here.
No.
What's happening? Let's see, because I've got figures here. Something now. Just tell me if you can see something now.
Not yet. There's nothing.
So what do you see? Nothing.
Yeah. Carrying value, like vehicle, the end of the year. Cost, there's nothing. Accumulated depreciation, there's nothing.
Oh, but I see something. Let me see. Um, let me see. You can't still see?
Oh yeah, now I can see.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just the network. I think it's a bit challenging. Yeah. So those are the costs.
Yes.
So you understand how I got that amount?
Yes. You did the costs minus accumulate depreciation.
Yes. So you must also do the same for the total there. Okay. Any question?
I'm good for now.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you just have to check. You can't. Unfortunately, you must know what you are doing and what is next. Can you see now? So I think yeah. So it will help a lot. And show calculations
What?
as much as possible because normally we get marks from calculations.
Yeah.
So this amount, that is the one that we just calculated. Can you see now this one? This amount. You see now?
Yeah.
This amount is the one that usually goes to the statement called statement of financial position. I think you know it. In the non-current asset. So you are going to, this is what we normally put under statement of financial position under the non-current assets. So if they ask you to do the financial statements, this will be under the non-current assets. Where you see PPE, you're going to have property and plant and equipment, and this is the amount that you're going to show.
Okay.
That's how we call this notes. Can you see now? It's a note. Which note? Note for the financial statements. But they can ask you a note separately from one financial statement.